Like I said, we are Heritage Church. We're glad that you have joined us today for Church in the Park. I'm going to pray, and then I just got a few things I want to share with us, and we'll get some food. God, I thank you for who you are. God, I thank you for a beautiful day that is covered with cloud, that has a nice cool breeze, and that the rain isn't coming. And God, we pray and we ask that you would speak now through the power of your word, through the power of your spirit, that you would open our eyes to the truth of who you are and the truth that you would have for us to embrace today. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So I hope you're having a great summer. Our family has been having a really fun summer. This weekend, we got back last night. We went to the Warren Dunes with some of my family and went camping. And not once, but twice, my 4-year-old son got lost, which means not once, but twice, I had to have that instructive conversation with my 4-year-old, giving some direction and some wisdom for him to understand that he has to stay with us. That there are going to be a lot of things that he's going to see, that he's going to want to go chase after, a lot of things he's going to want to go do, but he's got to stay with us or he's going to keep getting lost. And that's what we've been looking at Heritage Church. We've been looking at wisdom that a father has been giving to his son on how to navigate the challenges of life, how to navigate life with greater success and fewer regrets. And what we're looking at is that if we apply these wisdom principles that this father gives to his son in the Book of Proverbs, if we apply these wisdom pieces to our life, we'll be able to navigate the obstacles and challenges of life. And we'll be able to do it and come out on the other side with a greater win, with less struggles, with less regret, and less mistakes, without getting lost like my 4-year-old son at the campground. And just like a good father wants to protect their children, God has given us his word for instruction to help protect us and guide us through the obstacles of life. And so here's the proverb for us today. I have one verse for us. It is actually repeated several times through the book of Proverbs, as this father wants his son to make sure he understands. And if it was a father talking to a daughter, it would be the same thing. To understand how to navigate life best, Proverbs 14:12 says it like this. A father saying to his son, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end will lead to death." And now you hear that and it's like, man, that's a pretty harsh, that's a pretty hard statement. It sounds like it needs some minor keys behind it. Some dun 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 kind of like moment in this piece of advice, in this letter from a father to a son. But what we see here in this proverb, in this wisdom that a father is passing on to his son, is that there are a lot of ways we can go in life. There are a lot of paths and a lot of directions we can take. And most of them won't lead us to the satisfaction, won't lead us to the hope that we're actually looking for and actually wanting. There's an old preacher saying, it goes like this, it's talking about sin, and sin in the Bible is anything that would miss God's mark of perfection. So anything that's not perfect in God's eyes would be what is living inside of us and causing us to be selfish or prideful or angry, that sort of stuff that lives in all of us, that evil. The Bible calls it sin. And this old preacher saying goes like this, it says, sin will take you further than you want to go. It'll keep you there longer than you wanted to stay, and it'll cost you more than you wanted to pay. And the things that we do, the things that we say, the things that we want, the way we live may seem right, but it rarely satisfies the longing of our hearts and the hopes that we're looking for. And the path that we take through life, the path that you're taking through life right now, maybe it's a specific purchase or a choice that you've made or a choice you're planning on making. There's a way that may seem right to go, but this proverb gives us this warning. This proverb is this wisdom from a father to a son says there's a way that's going to seem really right, and you're going to want to do that. I'm just telling you, be careful. Look out. Here's the warning sign. Don't go that way. In our world today, we have signs that look like this that tell us not to go a certain way, telling us that's the wrong way. Don't enter this way. Don't go down that path. It's going to lead to death. This is what the father is saying to his son. There's a way that seems right, but the end leads to death. It's the wrong way to go. it's going to lead you down a path you didn't plan on taking. It's going to keep you there longer than you wanted to be there, and it's going to cost you more than you expected to pay. See, the way that seems right, if you're anything like me, the way that seems right is often based on how we feel. The way that seems right is often the way I take because it feels good. It feels right. And so many of the decisions and choices that we make in life, we make that they're based on a feeling. If it makes me feel good, it must be good. And we know that it's not true, but it doesn't stop us from chasing after the things that maybe make us feel good. You can think of your own examples. Just because it might feel good doesn't mean it's good for me, right? You can think of your own examples in your own life and the things that you've experienced. Here's my maybe dumb example. When I ride my motorcycle, you know what feels really good? To not have that helmet on my head. I can't, if the helmet's on my head, it's hotter, it's heavier, I can't feel the wind blowing through my hair, and it's just not as comfortable. Oh yeah, that one made you laugh, huh? Make fun of the bald guy, that's fine. It doesn't feel good. But when I'm riding my motorcycle, how I feel, whether wearing a helmet or not, how comfortable I am isn't the issue, it's how safe I can be while riding the bike. And some of you might have the argument of, well, riding a motorcycle in general may not be the wisest thing, and we can have that argument too. Or maybe it's not just how I feel, and that it makes me feel good, and that's why it seems like the right way to go. Maybe it's like my son when we were camping. Maybe it's the way that seems right because it gets me what I want. I want some certain things. I want it. I've got to have it. And like my son going off thinking, I see the beach and I want the beach, so I'm just going to beeline it for the beach and ignore that my whole family's going this way. Or my son thinking that I know where our campsite is, and he makes a wrong turn and he gets lost in the campground because he thought he knew the way to go. Are there some areas in your life, some directions in your life that you're going? Maybe your kids are like mine and they really like sugar. Any kids out there like sugar? We have Friday sugar cereal day. Every other day of the week is like Rice Krispies and Cheerios. Friday, they get their sugar cereal. I think their teachers during the school season do not like us very much on Fridays. But Friday, we limit the intake of sugar for our kids, right? Because if it was up to our kids, what seems right to our kids is sugar, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I wonder if there is anything in our lives as even adults that we treat like that. That I want it because it gives me what I want. And it's got to be right. It seems good to me because it gets me and fulfills the desires that I have. Is there something in your life that you're so focused on you just got to have it even if it may not be what's best for you? Other times, the way that seems right may be because it helps me feel accepted and included by others. It helps me fit in. Everyone else is doing it. You ever say that as a kid? Well, my friends get to do it. Why can't I do it? We got some hands going up. Some kids are like, yeah, it seems right. It helps me fit in. If they're doing it, why can't I do it? Everyone else is believing this. Everyone else is taking a stand for this. People are saying and doing and thinking this, so I will too. We want to be accepted, and so we make choices that help us fit in. But this father gives us a warning. There's a way that seems right, but the end is going to lead you somewhere you didn't want to go. What you think you want isn't going to get you what you need. If I always gave my kids what they wanted, they'd rarely, if ever, have what they needed. And this is why we have so many religions in our world today. I don't know if you realize this, but the religions are seemingly growing in our culture and in our world constantly. There's new religions here and new religions there. Religions keep growing because of this mindset that I want things my way. Throughout history, people have come to the idea that this seems right to me to make God in my image. They want God to be like their Burger King. They want it their way. They want God to fit. They want God to fit with what they want. They want God to meet their expectations instead of changing our lives and changing our expectations and following Christ's way and his wisdom. And this is what it looks like. For the religious leaders in Jesus' day, they did the very same thing. And the religious leaders in Jesus' day, they followed God's law. They loved God, but they also added to God's law because to them it seemed right to keep control and power over the people. And so they added to it, and they made some things up. And what they learned the hard way is this very same proverb, that doing life my way, even if it seems right, will only lead me further and further away from God, and ultimately lead me to death. When Jesus was here on earth, he flipped people's perspective of doing things our way and doing things his way. The culture would say, take care of number one. Be first, get on top, be the best, live the American dream. And Jesus said, the first will be last. Let me change your perspective a little bit. The first will be last. Love me, follow me. Put others' needs before your own. And the way that seems right isn't always the way that is right. The way of wisdom is to put Christ first and to put the needs of others before myself. See, there are a lot of ways that we can live, a lot of directions we can go, but only Jesus points us towards the way of wisdom. Only Jesus helps us see beyond what seems right, beyond the culture, beyond those who are around me speaking into my life. Only Jesus helps me see beyond the needs and the wants of my feelings. And he helps me live with wisdom that leads to eternal life. In John 14:6, Jesus said, I'm the way. In John 14:6, he's being pressed and he's being asked who he is, and there's conflict arising around him, and the religious leaders don't like Jesus, and they're asking and trying to figure out what this Jesus is all about, and he just comes down to it and he says, let me be really clear about something. I am the way. In a world of choices and opinions, ideas and passions and desires, Jesus says, I'm the way to life. I'm the way that you're looking for, and the Bible encourages us to not veer off the path of wisdom, to not chase after what seems right, but to make every step in life count as we follow God and go his way. Jesus came to this earth to help point humanity to a better way. Jesus came to this earth to help us see that instead of going the way that seems right, he showed us the way that is right. And knowing what the path to take throughout life's challenges, obstacles, and directions and decisions, knowing the path to take, it's not always easy. The path can be challenging. In fact, the path of wisdom rarely is easy. It's usually difficult and challenging. It has obstacles. It can be lonely and oppressive. But Jesus, it's why he reminds us that the road is narrow. The road is difficult that leads to life. There's a way that seems right to you. There's a religion, there's an idea, there is a belief, a social issue that seems right. But Jesus says, let me be clear about something. I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. And if you want to navigate the obstacles of this life, you have to understand that I'm the gatekeeper to wisdom. I'm the gatekeeper to life. Follow me, and you'll walk the path that'll lead you to eternal life. You know what I love about this statement that Jesus makes? As we begin to wrap up, what I love about this statement Jesus makes when he says, I am the way, the truth, the life, is that this was the stuff that got him killed. And he knew it would. These were the comments, these were the things that Jesus would say that would cause the religious leaders to rise up and fight against him and ultimately murder him. But Jesus wasn't motivated by self-preservation. He wasn't motivated by what would make him popular. He didn't care about being culturally sensitive. What mattered to Jesus was helping people understand there's a way that seems right, but it'll only lead to ultimate death. The way of Jesus, the way of following him, the wisdom and of trusting the God who created you will lead to eternal life. So Jesus told the people, even though it led to his death, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And this wasn't an exclusive statement. You might be here in the park today thinking, see, that's my problem with Christianity. is it sounds so exclusive. Like, how can Jesus make a claim like that? It casts everyone out. No, Jesus wasn't making a claim to cast people out. That was an invitation in, to come and follow. So that we wouldn't go just the way that seems right, but we would go the way that is right, that he was giving us the direction, pointing the way. He was saying, do not enter the way that seems right. Walk in the way that is right. Because without Jesus, all we have is a way that seems right. And so he says, do not enter. Jesus came to show us that wisdom gives us another way. That wisdom points us to the one way. My wife and I were in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and we were riding our bikes, and we were riding around and navigating through the city, and these signs are super helpful downtown. I don't know if you've ever driven downtown or driven down a one-way street the wrong way, but it's not super fun. It's actually quite terrifying. And yet, we will navigate through life often going the way that seems right and suffering the consequences and the struggles and the obstacles that come with it when Jesus came to say, I am the way, the one way. Follow me. I'll help you navigate the challenges of life with greater success and fewer regrets. The only way that leads to life is Jesus Christ. The one way that offered his creation, an alternative to the way that seems right, to be able to turn around and go in a different direction. It's a one-way street to wisdom, and it starts with following Jesus, the God of all wisdom. See, knowing the path to take throughout life, no matter what decision you have to make, knowing the path to take, it's not easy. Kids, as you get older, as you grow up, you're going to begin to understand and realize what your parents have been saying all along. Life is hard. Don't go the way that you want to go. Listen to my instruction. Don't go the way that seems right. Go the way that is right. And that's why Jesus came, to show us the way. In a world of choices and directions, obstacles and challenges, Jesus came to show us the way that is right, the way of wisdom. And my challenge for us today, my encouragement really for us today is, will you, hi boys, the way that seems right, right? On display, my son. And now the train. Let's boost this up just a little. My challenge for us today, my encouragement for us is this. Trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus. There's a way that seems right. Trust in Jesus that points us to the way of navigating life with greater success and fewer regrets. Trust his word that will lead and guide you through life, and you'll find that he never disappoints. When we try to navigate life, doing whatever we want, doing what seems right, we will continue to trip and fall and stumble and experience what a father is telling his son and warning him against. There's a way that seems right. But it's going to lead to pain and suffering. So Jesus came to this earth to give us some direction and point us to a different way. And if you will put your faith and trust in Jesus today, you will find that he will not disappoint, that all that your heart is longing for, all the peace that you would want, is found in Jesus Christ. All the hope in a hopeless world that you're longing for and searching for, it's found in Jesus Christ. He is all that we could ever need and all that our heart is longing for and wanting. And so he came to point the direction to his Father. He came to make a way when there was no way. And if you're here today and you want to make that decision, and you say, I've made that decision before, but maybe for the first time in a long time, you want to come back and say, God, I've been doing things my own way. I've been going the wrong way, and today I want to turn around and follow your way, the way of wisdom. I would just encourage you to pray a prayer like this in your own heart. And we'll wrap up with this. God, I thank you for who you are, and I thank you for your word that leads and guides us and gives us instruction and direction for how to navigate the chaos of this life. So Jesus, I pray that you would help us see you today. Jesus, today I confess that I've been going my own way. I've been going the way that seemed right to me. But today you've given me a picture of something different. You've given me a picture of wisdom, a warning for the life I've been living in, a new path, a new direction to go a new way, to go your way. And I confess that my way hasn't been working, so I surrender my life to you today, and I follow you with my whole heart. I believe you and I trust in you. Would you go with me? Would you direct me, lead me, and guide me to navigate this life with fewer regrets so I can look back, seeing how you have protected and led me through even the hardest and most difficult seasons of life. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.